Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and welcome to the finale of TekTopia. No, your eyes and ears do not deceive you. This is in fact the last episode of TekTopia you will most likely ever see on my channel. And I know that's going to come quite a shock to a lot of you. I haven't really mentioned anything about that in the run up to this episode and I apologize for that. There isn't any good way to do this. I know a lot of you are going to be very sad that the series is ending. I am too. We're going to get into it later on. I'm going to tell you guys why this series is coming to an end and just have a good old chat with you at the end of the video. That's going to take a while and I don't really want to do that right at the start. This is going to be a special video. I've prepared a couple of things to send this series off. One of them is kind of a look back on the world and the series, taking a look at all of the civilizations we've made and kind of focusing on the lore of them, basically just reminiscing about this series, about the world we've created and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be very nice to go back and see. Also, I've put together a little bit of a montage. I've basically gotten a clip from every single episode in this series and pieced them all together. So hopefully that should be nice and nostalgic. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed those two things. And of course, if you're wanting to stay to the end and hear why I've come to this decision, please do that. And yeah, enjoy these two things and I'll see you at the end, hopefully. The first civilization that we built up in this world was Meclin's Vale, named after the very first villager in this series, Meclin Dalecarlia, the lumberjack. Now, this village of course has a special place in my heart. For those who don't know, TekTopia is what finally kickstarted my channel. I'd been making videos on YouTube for a couple of years prior to this series starting with very little luck, but when I started to create Meclin's Vale, that's when things really took a positive turn. Hundreds of people were subscribing to my channel every month, then every week, and then occasionally every day. As you can imagine, it was quite exciting. So when I think about Meclin's Vale, I associate it with that feeling and I look back on it very, very fondly. And I'm incredibly happy it was this style of village I chose to do first of all because I love medieval buildings and I personally think it's the architecture style that fits best with TekTopia and the way that Tango designed it. Who knows, if I tried to build Alor X in the first few episodes, I may not be in the same position as I am now. Now I feel as though I must tell the tale of Meclin. He does play an important role in the lore of this village. So if I remember correctly, the story goes a little something like this. Meclin's Vale, although it was not named that at the time, was ruled by a cruel and oppressive tyrant. He was a terrible king and an even worse man. He punished the villagers in unthinkable ways, treating them like the dirt underneath his boot. One of those villagers was Meclin Dalecarlia, and he gained the courage to put an end to his leader's ruling. The king would often stand atop the watchtower, gazing over the village and the citizens that he had pure and utter control of. This was when Meclin decided to strike. Explosives had been planted in the basement of the king's house, and after detonation, he rushed to the top of the tower to try and kill the king. There was a moment of hesitation from Meclin, wondering if he was doing any better than the tyrant himself. Eventually, after remembering the horror the king had let loose upon the village, he decided enough was enough and pushed him to his death. After freeing the village, the guilt overcame Meclin. People were calling him a hero, a savior, but he did not see himself as this. A while had passed and he could still take it no more, and so he left, to live a new life of solitude far away, deep into the mountains. He could not be reached. The villagers of the newly named Meclin's Vale had no idea where he was, what had happened, and why he had left. After many, many moons, Meclin finally returned, a little older, a little wiser, but a lot happier. The villagers were overjoyed. They offered him countless amounts of gifts and good deeds, but Meclin wanted none of it. In his time away, he discovered the man he was and what he needed in life, and that was nothing more than to be a simple lumberjack working in a village surrounded by friends and family with not a worry in the world. And that is exactly what he got. So that's how the story goes, and it may seem familiar to those of you who have been around for a while. Most of it was actually from my 500 subscriber special, which is kind of crazy to think about. Only a couple of weeks after that video, I hit 1,000 subscribers and made a special for that too, involving Mechlin, but that one wasn't really related to the village in any way. But yeah, that was Mechlin's Vow, and as I said, I love this village. It has a very special place in my heart, and my building has substantially improved since then, but I do still think it holds up pretty well. Once we had finished building Mechlin's Vow, we then went out to start construction on a brand new village. This time we were in the desert, creating what is now known as Esteria, my Egyptian/Arabic/desert oasis city. Now this one required quite a lot of grunt work before we could even get started with most of the building. I had plans to make a giant wall enclosing Esteria, so I completely flattened the land and built on top of it. Once that was all done, I could start work on the inside of the walls, and there was quite a bit of room in here. I believe this is the village I spent the second most amount of time on, coming in at 21 episodes to fully complete. Only Ravine, I think, took more time at 25 episodes, but this was a fun building style, I must say. I'd never really built anything in a desert before, or at least certainly nothing like this, so it was nice to try something a bit different to the norm. Now there is a story behind this village, similarly to Mechlin's Vow, and I shall tell it, but maybe not in its full length. Pretty much the way it goes is there was once a traveller called Esther. He roamed the land for a very long time, yearning for a place to live. He passed by hamlets, villages and cities, but none of them were right for him, and so he never stayed for long. Eventually, he discovered a desert civilization in ruins. He had arrived shortly after a necromancer attack. Using the vast amount of skills and knowledge he had, Esther then spent the next part of his life helping to rebuild the city. It gave him a purpose. Once it had been restored to its former glory, the civilians had finally decided on a name for their home, and that was Esteria. So that tale was a short 3-minute video I created for my 10,000 subscriber special. I had a bit of a theme with my specials at this point in time, if you can't already tell. It was quite fun to make them. All in all, I am so happy with how Esteria turned out. If I was to redo it now, I think the only thing I would change is I would make the terrain not be completely flat. Whilst that did make the building, especially the wall, a whole lot easier, I do think having a bit of variation in the Y levels would have been a smart idea, but as I said, that's the only thing really. I do quite like this place. Our next village, the Undergrowth, was built inside of a ravine. I wanted to try something a little bit different this time round, and so this is what I landed on. It really pushed the limitations of the villager AI and their pathfinding ability. It got a bit tricky at times with a lot of falls and getting stuck on stuff, but I definitely think it was worth it. It's a very unique build and definitely one of my favorites as far as the idea goes. I believe the lore for this village was that this ravine was not naturally formed. In fact, it had been destroyed through the destruction of a dragon. This is a home for the dwarves, who once lived on the surface until one dreaded day a dragon attacked and wiped out most of the village with a single fiery breath. The houses had been entirely disintegrated and most of the dwarves did not survive. All that was left was a giant crack in the land where the dragon hit the hardest. The dwarves who remained decided that the surface was no longer safe for them. They had to go underground, and what better home than the scar which had been left in the earth? Carefully they prepared the ravine for construction, and after only a short while, those hard-working dwarven hands had built a brand new home for future generations. It was called Dnach Gundu, which is roughly translated into the Green Delvings. Its dwarven name was unfortunately lost with time, and instead now goes by the more simpler name of the Undergrowth. I think during this project is when we actually lost our first ever villager. I believe his name was Conrad, and he died heroically protecting his fellow villagers from a zombie attack. It was a very sad day because we had managed to go 40 plus episodes without losing a single villager, and it was heartbreaking to see that death message pop up in the corner, but at least Conrad died a hero and will be remembered forever by the dwarves of the undergrowth. The next civilization that we began was Eridu, my fantasy elven village. As I mentioned earlier, this is the village I've spent the most time on in this series, and you can probably see why. Not only are we covering a lot of land here, but also the builds are all quite intricate and unique, unlike the cookie cutter style of Esteria, and of course I don't mean that in a negative way, that definitely suits the style more. But for this one, I wanted to create something that seemed really fantastical, which is why we have a lot of magical elements incorporated here, like the floating crystal above the mountain, the giant waterfalls, the swinging rope bridges, or even the Fountain of Youth. Of course, one aspect that probably sticks out more than others are the colourful roofs. This was something I wasn't 100% certain would look good in the finished product, but I'm really glad that I stuck with it because I think it looks awesome. We actually created an established link between Eridu, the Undergrowth, and Mechlon's Vale. Altogether, they were known as Alor X. The idea was to have them all be connected in some way, and so we did that by building some beacons all the way across the land. It was inspired from the beacons of Gondor in Lord of the Rings. It starts in Eridu, the elf village, passing by the Undergrowth, the dwarf village, and finishing up in Mechlon's Vale, the human village. So the lore here is that these three communities have all banded together in a kingdom of sorts. It's such a fun idea, and I wish we could have incorporated Esteria too, but not only is that like 4,000 blocks away, so the beacons would all have to go that distance, which was out of the equation, but I don't really think it matches the same style as the other three do to each other. So we left it out along with Alor X, our futuristic city we have just finished building. Now I won't spend long talking about this one because, well, like I said, we've literally just finished building it. If you want to see some more of Alor X, maybe this is the first TekTopia video of mine you've seen in a while, you can go back to the previous episode where we did a full world tour, or the one before that where we finished building the city itself. I will, however, give you an insight on the small amount of lore we actually have for this place. So I like to imagine this city is set far in the future, or possibly on another planet entirely. It just doesn't seem quite right having this exist at the same time and place as the others. The idea here is that whatever world we're currently on, it's flooded, hence why the city is built on water. Maybe a little bit like what Miller's Planet could have been in Interstellar, if there hadn't have been waves the size of mountains, of course. Or possibly like Camino in Star Wars. I saw some people referencing that quite a bit in the comments. They are very similar. Alor X is centered around a guardian farm, and this monument was the one that I could find with the most surrounding water, which honestly is not a lot. So occasionally, depending on where you are in the city, you can see the land, but I try to ignore it. We do have a small shopping area here in the city for supplies brought in by the merchant, who I'm imagining deals with other cities beside this one. Obviously, if there are other civilizations in this world, then they too are going to be similar to this one, because of, well, all of the water. So I'm sure there could be some relations with other city that Alor X has, it's just something we've never really delved too deep into. I am really glad I tried something a bit different for our fifth and final quote-unquote village. It was really nice to break out of the usual blocks and style I had been sticking to and really do something far from what the others are like. It was a fun project to end on. Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and welcome to the first episode of TekTopia. Here we go, first villager. Oh, I think we got the right guy. Oh, look at them go. And yeah, downstairs, as I said, is the smithy. We don't have a name for this place, so if you've got any name suggestions of what to call the town/village, then yeah, let me know and I can take a look and see if any take my fancy. Okay, I may have got really lucky there, or you can just click them on whatever. Okay, I think you can just click them on whatever. Plus, it's like right outside the storage room, so the farmers should get some good use out of it, hopefully. Sleep well, because you got a lot of crops to farm in the morning, so yeah. And the farmer 4, 5, oh, 6 emeralds now. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My word, that is a lot of farmers. Look at them all go by. Come on, guards, you can do it. I end up... Oh. I am finally getting a new computer. Godspeed, Mechlin Darlicalia. Godspeed. So this is the before, and here is the after. Ah, the sun is coming up, beaming light over our village to be. You're trapped in a corner. I was kind of hoping you would go and farm some crops, but that works too. I have a new microphone. Shoot right by him. Oh, scared you, bunny, didn't I? The under and out bar and inn is now open for business. Sleeping with half of one of your eyes open. Very strange. Excuse me, Taufan. You there? You all gonna... Oh, okay. Not really what I had in mind, guys. Morgan here, not so much. He is in no hurry to learn anything anytime soon. You're all gonna grow up to be warriors. I hope you're nice and strong. Yeah, he's a little round in the edges and he's got a bit of a derpy face and his whole structure is a little bit weird. We have called him Larry the Llama with 2 L's at the front. No, you're running to a caravan with Larry. Stop it. You got to break free. You're not allowed to caravan with Larry. This over here, if I can catch her, is Caskia Gullscream, who is now the village's first enchantress, which is pretty cool. Oh no. What is going on there? I might have a druid who is currently starving stuck in a wall. Don't do that again. Thank you, Yargo. Stay just here. Here they come, the guardians of Esteria. Just share. There's plenty to go around. What an entrance. That's probably the best entrance I've ever made in this game. I appear to have lost my torso and my head and everything else above my legs and hands. And so it is now time to say goodbye to Esteria. This view right here. It's honestly a little bit underwhelming. That's not really the coolest of views, is it? Figured that out. Okay, no. Okay, let's not watch this. That's kind of brutal. Just give me a sip. Yep, thank you. Despite being iron bars looking like a jail of sorts, it looks super cozy when you look through. I really like the look of it through there. Get activated, TNT. I am scared. I'm running far away from there. I fly on over, swoop in, and save the day. And there is our village banner. No! Shoulder to shoulder, not even a single gap in between them, not a single pixel. Oh, off he goes, he's had one too many. The ranchers, and then the chef, and the butcher. I guess I'll just stay and listen. Maybe I won't. You okay, little buddy? Bouncing away on the trapdoor there, want a bit of help? There you go, you are still not free. Come on, get away. Well done, you did it. I think that has updated everything we've done today, so that right there is really cool. We have this chicken up here, by the way, and I'm not sure if I should push him off or not, or just leave him up there forever. Hopefully, guys, that makes sense to you, and you can get somewhat of an idea of how I'm imagining this village to look. Well, that is cursed if I've ever seen a... What is going on there? I shouldn't be an elf, should I? Okay, I'll scratch it off the list. I'll stick to being a dwarf. Aha, yes, just as I thought. That's the time lapse. I love it, especially the gentle fog in the distance. Doesn't that mountain top there look ever so magical? Well, Steffi, no, don't be an idiot. Run away, please. Your armor's breaking all around you. I have a guard trapped in stone. Hello. There you go. I hope you like whatever this thing is. Okay, I've messed up big time here, everybody. Emeralds in hand, and I am ready to go on a shopping spree. But maybe we'll let him in some point soon and just see if he can socialize with them well, and maybe it'll calm him down. I'm not sure, though. Now he is burning to death. We did lose him! Oh, no! Hello, villager, or zombie villager I should say. It's so stressful around here, especially in the morning when the zombies, hello creeper, let's fly away, start burning, and oh hello creeper, let's fly away. And you kitty, by the way, shall be named... Nope, stay still, it's a funny joke. Gonna have to do some precise clicking here. I really don't want to though, but oh, there we go. Okay, just about got it. Where are we going, boys? Oh, we're gonna kill this zombie. You can see the bridge leading up to it. I think it looks super duper awesome. Dexter Pham was his name, and he was the bravest miner in all of Alor. Hopefully nothing goes wrong, that would be bad. There goes Albert, look at him go! No, stay on the wood, that's what we want. Oh, that's a lot of damage. There's a meme in that somewhere, isn't there? Why must you do this, farmers? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of you, I think, completely stood still. And you can just about see it. Oh, come on, can I be quick again with the necromancer and kill him before he spawns? And oh my goodness, that's a lot of... Did I get him? Oh my goodness, I got him. That was such a pro shot. The red glow and the mist in the background with the sunset. Isn't that just a beautiful shot? It's all updating as we fly over it. Looking super awesome. Oh, buddy. We are done. But I don't know if that's going to go particularly well. Fantastic. Okay, cool. That sucked away a lot of the damage. So there it is, the storage building, the centerpiece to our city, all done as far as the exterior is concerned, that is. I'm actually pretty happy with this. It certainly looks a lot better than it did before. All of our 44 apartment buildings are now furnished and complete. Oh, buddy. That is quite the laser drill, and it's looking pretty cool if you do ask me. I'm quite proud of it, but I do think this whole control panel does look pretty awesome. A couple of miners going to bed. They've obviously been having a hard day's slog down at the mines. Yeah, something has gone horribly wrong, but there we go, our first blacksmith of the city. This definitely doesn't seem dystopian and evil in any way whatsoever. It is perfectly healthy. This is a pretty fancy jet, if I do say so myself. My friend, hop in there. I said hop in there. Okay, wonderful. Let's go. Oh, what's going on here? Ah, okay. There we go. Oh, I'm having a bit too much fun sending these villagers to their deaths. How do I stop this thing? That didn't work. Does that work? It just keeps coming. Oh my goodness, please stop. Okay, there we go. This place is very, very busy, and I do always love to see the tavern nice and full. Maybe that would be the better option than steak. Oh, great. All right, let's go deal with him. A villager's dying. I feel like they're dying. I feel like I've just heard, like, several villagers die. We do also have some residents already living inside of the apartments, which is nice. Truly a sight to behold. They just keep on coming. Albert Hartman and Austin Netherbridge both fell, or well, they took 20 damage and they died at the same time in pretty much the exact same position. Oh my goodness, it's actually insane to look at. This is crazy. So maybe let's head back to spawn and we can end off the video here. And I suppose this can count as the clip from episode 100. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching those two little special things. They were really, really nice to put together. I had so much fun kind of going back and watching the old episodes and kind of seeing how much had changed. It was awfully nostalgic and strange and lovely, so I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I do. But as promised, we're now going to have a little bit of a discussion as to why I'm choosing to end this series off here. So there's kind of a lot of reasons that have gone into me making this decision, but the main one and kind of the overall reason is just a lack of motivation. Now, since maybe 3-4 months ago, basically like partway through the creation of Alor X, I felt myself getting quite burnt out a lot of the time and not really wanting to play TekTopia and make videos. Not to the point where I just straight up really didn't want to do it. I still did, but not as much as I used to, and I kind of just felt my love for this series dying out a little bit. So pretty much I'm wanting to kind of stop that before it gets so bad that I just abandon the series halfway through a project. Obviously, I wanted to wrap up Alor X, and we've been lucky enough to kind of time it with the episode 100. That was not intentional. It was only until I got to like the last 10 episodes that I realized it could potentially pan out that way. So I kind of did everything to make the last episode 100, which kind of made me come to this decision here. But it's obviously going to be better than starting a new village for episode 101 and then, you know, going on and starting something fresh and maybe being a little bit inspired in the beginning. But ultimately, I think I would eventually get bored and not want to do the series at all. And then I wouldn't be able to tie a nice little bow on the series like I can in this position right here. So that's the overall reason. Just I'm not motivated to start a new village and go and do the same thing over and over again one more time, and then however many more times. I don't see myself having the want to actually do that. So this way we're able to stop after a nice round 5 villages on episode 100 at a point where I'm happy to stop, and I'm also happy to you know, do what we have done but not continue any further, if that makes sense. I think one of the reasons why I've been quite unmotivated recently in this series is just because of the nature of TekTopia. I mean, 100 episodes of any series is a long run-in series. That's a lot of episodes. That's a lot of time to invest into one thing. I've been making this series for nearly 3 years now, I want to say. Definitely over 2.5. So it's a long time I've spent with TekTopia. And because of the nature of it, you kind of do the same thing each time. I don't think it was made to be played as much as I've played it. I've probably played it more than most people have. It's sort of like you do the same thing every time, which is cool, and you can switch up the styles and everything. But in my opinion, there's only so many times you can do that before it starts to feel a little bit repetitive. You know, I don't want to go somewhere else and build the town hall, build the storage, so on and so forth, and do the same thing we've done 5 times already. Now, saying all of that, it doesn't take anything away from how wonderful of a mod TekTopia is. I truly cannot thank Tango enough for creating this beautiful mod. I love it so much, and I mean this with all seriousness. TekTopia has actually changed my life. You're probably wondering, wow, he's going really deep with this one, but no, I mean it seriously. As I said, before I had TekTopia and before I started this series, I had next to no subscribers, maybe just over 100. At least in comparison to what I have now, sitting at like 140,000, something like that. So before TekTopia, I had nothing. I made videos every now and again, but it wasn't like a huge part of my life. Now it is. It helps so much, you know, mentally, financially, and just keeping me occupied. And it's just so much fun having all of you guys watch my videos, and I have all of that to thank to TekTopia and Tango. So yeah, I cannot thank Tango enough for making such an amazing mod. I just don't think it was really made to last 3 years and 100 episodes. I'm sure Tango would agree to that. I'm sure a lot of you guys can agree and understand. But yeah, I put no blame to Tango whatsoever. As I said, I cannot thank him enough. And I probably don't need to mention this, but I will anyway. Please don't go and pester Tango telling him to update the mod and save the series. I know we're still in 1.12 and I complain about it quite a lot because of the limited block options, but at the end of the day, the charm of this series is TekTopia, not really the building. It's kind of a split thing, but basically, even if Tango did update the mod, and he said before many times that he's not going to, at least most likely not going to, I think, last time I heard him say anything about it, almost certainly no. He's not going to, but even if he did, I still wouldn't carry on. I'm done for here. And yeah, I just don't want you guys going to pester Tango telling him to update the mod and, you know, stop me ending TekTopia because it wouldn't really change anything. So yeah, don't do that. Not that I think any of you would, because you're all lovely people, but I just wanted to mention it in case, because yeah, Tango doesn't need to hear that. He probably gets enough people asking him to update the mod, so you guys don't need to add to it. But yeah, thanks for understanding and not doing that, obviously. So yeah, that is why I'm choosing to end the series. I hope you guys can understand and don't hold a grudge against me too badly. I'm sure you won't. But I do feel kind of guilty ending this series. I know I shouldn't, because at the end of the day, I know what you guys are going to say, but you should, do what suits you. It's your channel, you make the videos you want, but I feel bad because I know how many of you truly love this series and look forward to it each and every episode. So you're probably really sad that it's ending, and like I said, I apologize, but you're right. I do have to do what I want to do with this series. There's no point in making videos if I'm not motivated to, and I'm just really happy this is the point we're ending it at, and instead of, halfway through a village and me having to rush and get something done that I didn't really want to finish, but I did anyway just because I felt like I had to. The point I'm at now, I'm on like the brink of losing all motivation. So stopping now, it's like the best possible time. And yeah, I'm really sad because I'm going to miss this world. I love making TekTopia videos and playing this mod. But it's just a good point to end. I think knowing you guys, you're going to agree with me. I know some of you won't, and that's fine. I know you'll be sad, but I'm just doing what I think is right for me personally, so I really hope you guys can understand that. But yeah, I think that is gonna do it. I kind of want to keep talking because I really don't want to say bye and not go and make another episode, in a couple of weeks. But I try not to get too emotional. It's only a series. It's not the end of the world. Those of you who have picked up this series recently, if you're still here at this point, you're probably very confused why I probably sound really sad. This is an important series. It's a little bit heartbreaking, but yeah, before we go, I just want to say one giant, massive, humongous thank you to each and every one of you watching right now. Whether you've just picked up the series recently, you joined me in Esteria, the Undergrowth, Ravine, or all the way back in Meclin's Vale just at the beginning. Maybe you've even been around to witness the 500 episode subscriber special as it came out. But however long you've been here, and however long you plan to stick with me in other series after this, I just want to say thank you, because I truly, truly appreciate the support you guys give this series whenever it came out. A while ago, I stopped doing it on a regular basis. It just kind of became an unscheduled series. And then you guys stuck with me and kept looking forward to the series, even though you didn't really know when the next episode was going to be. I've taken many breaks from this, and still you guys are watching all the way to the very end. So just want to say thank you for all of the support. I would not be making 100 episodes of this series and playing in this world this much if I didn't have you guys watching every time and being able to read your comments and seeing what you guys have to say about whatever went on in the episode. I will be very excited to do it this time round and see what you guys have to say. And yeah, just thank you. I appreciate and love every one of you very much. And yeah, that is gonna do it. So thank you guys for watching this episode and this entire series. I really, really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in another video somewhere else on my channel. Bye for now.